Hey, what's up everybody? This is DDS, and excuse my voice if it sounds a little crazy in this video. I've been sick the past few days, just now getting better. Wanted to shoot some videos. So for this video, I'm answering questions on the Q&A video that I put up probably maybe 2-3 weeks ago, somewhere around there. So I got a few questions on here, just gonna run through. I didn't really sit and go through them yet, so I'm gonna be going through them. So if I take a minute to get it, then I'm just picking them out straight from the phone, which ones I want to answer, which ones I don't want to answer. So yeah, so sit back and enjoy, and hopefully I answer your questions. If you have any other questions after this video, you can drop the questions in the comments, and from there I will answer those questions from there in another video, because I'm gonna keep doing these. Like I said, I want to do it once a month at least, where I do these little Q&A videos for you guys, so just to see what you guys would like for me to talk about, or if I do a video on a certain topic, or just do it like this and give you answers. So the first question is, can you make an R&B beat video? The answer is that yes, I'll add that to my list. Second one, how did you start selling beats? What advice can you give on selling beats? Selling beats to me was something that I had a hard time doing when I first started, like back in, I want to say maybe around 2010 is when I really started trying to sell my beats online, and I had a hard time trying to sell my beats online. Nobody would buy them. Even if I cut my prices like some people did, well, nobody buy them. And I guess at that point in time, it was really, I had the beats, but I didn't know how to really market it to people. I mean, I did. A lot of people say, yeah, I want your beats, but then they never bought them. I'll sell 1 beat per month or something like that, but it was nothing consistent, and that was a problem. I mean, I had a job at the time, but still, it's like I want that consistent flow. So, but at one point I stopped doing the beat store because I had my flash store, and that wasn't really going anywhere, and I just started promoting my music via Instagram and all that stuff, just showing that I'm always working, and people started reaching out, and then from there I was selling stuff here and there, well, more than here and there, but every now and then soon after that, that's when Try Me happened, and then stuff is different. But I'm actually going to put up a beat store on BeatStars. I was with my flash store for years, but I really like some of the features that's featured with BeatStars, and I'm going to try them out. I'm going to upload beats on there, sell them non-exclusive on there, so just to see how that goes, and I'm going to document that journey as well while I do that. So any advice I can give is just put your best music out there. That's something that I stopped doing. I was just holding back on my best work because I was like, I can put this here, put this there, but it's like, no, don't put out your crap stuff or your throwaway stuff or whatever. Just put your best stuff out. You can set up, if you make 10 great beats, put 5 online and save the other 5, or if you want to send them out to other artists, or however you want to do it, and just promote like Facebook, Instagram, all that promo. Like Facebook is probably the best place to do it because people are always on Facebook, but I've promoted on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and my favorite one out of those is Facebook followed by YouTube. So that'll be my advice, is make your beats, put them out there, and promote yourself. How did you reach out to Dej Loaf? I already did a video on that. At the point in time that me and her got together for work, it was just like Twitter. As simple as that. I heard her music, wanted to work with her, you know, saw her management, said that they were looking for beats for their artists, and I was like, okay, cool, I want to work with all the artists. So I just sent the folder of beats. She contacted me about one of them, and that's just how it went from there. Kept sending her stuff. Okay, here's a question. Any advice or insight on eqing? I noticed they changed the vibe of my sound, the vibe and sound of my beat. I feel like eqing can make or break a song. Any advice for mixing for people who aren't experts on mixing? I'm not an expert on mixing. I just do what sounds good to me, and I like to listen to my beats in the car. That's where I usually listen to all my music, in the car or on my monitors, and I like a lot of bass. So my ideas on things may be different from somebody else, but since I like a lot of bass, I have a standard thing, like everybody know. I have a template that I use, but I already know where I want stuff set before I even start mixing. I know I want my pad in this range, I know I want my bass this range, piano this range, snare here, this there. I already have it in my head because I love the way that they sound in those places. But when you use different sounds, sometimes you have to make your adjustments. But for eqing can change the sound completely, because you can take out the low end, you can boost it, all that different stuff. I just say have fun with it. If you really want to EQ your sounds, just have fun with it. Get it to make what you're trying to do. Like if you're trying to make the sound like a certain way, EQ it to get it that way. If it works, you know, just play around with it. I'm not the expert on it to say you need to do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that. But just have fun, you know, play around with it. That's how you learn. Sorry, my English is not really good, but I have a question. To make some music, what would be the best MacBook Pro or MacBook Air or Mac Mini? Okay, so basically they're just asking what Mac is better for making music. I mean, it depends on your situation. For me, I was able to have a Mac Mini, and this is before the music industry stuff. I saved up enough money, and when I lost my job, I spent a lot of money on getting the MacBook because I had a laptop, a Windows laptop, and it was just so hard to deal with. You would go to open it, it'll take forever to open, and sometimes it just randomly shuts off and all that. So I took some money and invested in a MacBook Pro. I don't like making beats on my MacBook Pro. I prefer to have this setup because I have everything here. On my MacBook, it's like I'm on this little space, and then it runs out of hard drive space quick and all that. So personally, I say go with the Mac Mini if you can. All you need is a TV, your keyboard, your mouse, and you're good to go. And your music equipment, you're good to go. MacBook Pro, it's cool if you're on the go. That's me personally. I'll travel, take my Maschine micro with me, an external hard drive, and my Beats pill, and that'll be my travel setup. But as far as just making beats on the the MacBook Pro, I wouldn't do it. So for me personally, I'm gonna say get you a Mac Mini or the iMac, you know, because that has a lot of space and it's stationary. Okay, so let me see. How did the change from FL Studio to Maschine change your production? It changed my life. I say that all the time. Maschine changed my life. It opened up my mind for a different creative thing. I mean, I had fun with FL. I'm not knocking FL at all. That's what I started with. I used FL for years. I still love FL to this day. I wish they had a Mac version. But what I did was I just jumped into something different with Maschine. It was like, I want to try something different, you know. And I hated Maschine at first. But I forced myself to spend like 2 or 3 weeks whenever I wasn't busy just to sit down and play with it, study it, watch tutorials on YouTube, and just put stuff together. You know, the transition was hard because I'm used to doing stuff in FL Studio, but once I got the hang of Maschine and everything, it was just, I feel like it took me from here to here. It was just like, I'm not saying that that's for everybody though, because there's tons of people that use FL Studio that make great music. I'm just saying for me personally, I would take Maschine any day. It just changed my musical, like I could tell the difference in my music from when I was using Maschine and FL. Like I could tell the difference when I hear the track. Some people may not be able to, but I can. I enjoy it a lot more with Maschine. Do I ever sample off of vinyl? No, I don't have a vinyl player, a record player, but I plan on investing in one and then probably finding some records like at my grandma's house. I'm sure she got some somewhere around there that I could sample, you know, up in Maschine. But what I really do for my samples is YouTube or CDs that I have laying around. Like I was cleaning up and I found a whole bunch of CDs I have from my childhood, and it's like, let me plug them in, not plug them in, but put them in on the iTunes or however, and then you just convert them to wave and chop them up, have fun with it. That's what I do to sample. Will Maschine Micro work with Ableton Live? I'm not really sure. I never used Ableton, but I think now they have something on Maschine, like it's some type of link button on here. Like I said, I don't have Ableton, so I never tried it, but I think they did integrate where they can all work together. Do you see yourself getting into using other equipment in the future, like analog synths or keyboard stations? Yes. I forgot the name of the keyboard that I really want. I forgot the name of it, but it costs like $5,000. I want that. I'm gonna get that one day. Not sure when, but I'm gonna get it one day. I definitely want to branch off into that because I just love sounds. Having more sounds is like a great thing to me. Like I love pads. And then I think you said something about the analog synth. I wanted the, I forgot what it's called, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But yes, I do see myself getting more and more stuff. The further I get in my career, you know, you get some more money, then I can invest in those other things, you know, because that's really what it's all about to me. I want more sounds and I want more space. So when I get more space and more money, definitely doing that. Just to build up off the top of your head, 3 key things that lay a foundation for a great beat besides good software. New subscriber, appreciate the advice and insight you share. I appreciate you for watching. So the 3 things that I think every beat, let me reread that, the three key things that lay a foundation for a great beat. Your sound choices, like, you know, which pads and pianos and all that stuff you pick. I feel like the scale you choose or what key the song is in makes a difference. We know I'll take that key one back because that's not necessarily true, because you can do anything with any key, that just sets the tone. I said sound selection. Dang, that's really a good one, because it's like, to me, and it's my personal opinion, like I would say drums, but honestly, I think sometimes some stuff sound better without drums. Like when you take the drums out, it builds so much more tension. So I'm not even gonna throw the drums in there. So I'm gonna say sound selection, tell a story with the music, like let it be leading somewhere, not just going around in the circle. Like I was told to make music that tells a story, takes you on a journey. It starts here, it builds up to something here, builds up, drops off a little bit, builds up some more, drops off, builds up a lot, and then it just, you know, take the listener and lets them go. Tell a story through the music. So I feel like that's something. So that's the arrangement. So sound selection, arrangement. I would say the mix after that. Sound selection, arrangement, and your mix. Your mix can make or break it, because sometimes some mixes, and I'm not saying you have to be perfect with your mixes, but you should not have your sounds all coming. You should pan them some type of way, mix them down and level them and however you need to, so that way everything just doesn't sound like it's coming at you from one spot. Have stuff going here, going there, just all over the place, so that way everything has its own space and not just clashing and getting distorted, because that will mess it up, unless you're doing that on purpose. But yeah, so those are my 3 things. It's the sound selection, arrangement, and your mix. Off the top of my head. Okay, so let me see. I log back in and see what else is on here. You think I should upgrade from the MK1 to the MK2? I'm not sure of the real differences between the MK1s and MK2s. I came in, I believe, with the MK2, and it's the colored pads. That was the main thing that I looked. Somebody else asked me that, and I looked it up. It looked like they just say their pads change colors, and that's the main difference in the two. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure because I didn't have the MK1. I came in with the micro MK2, I believe. So actually I got it right here, but you're not gonna be able to tell because I got my other one over there, and that's the MK2. Yeah, they look identical. I don't really remember if the pads changed colors or not on here. I think they did though, so. Yep, it's the MK2, so I came in with the MK2, so I can't really speak on should you upgrade. I mean, like I said, from what I read, the only difference was the colors. So if it's worth having colored pads, then go for it. But I'm not really sure off the top of my head. Let me see what other questions I got on here. Okay, I answered that one on there, so I don't need that. Would I ever collab with anyone? Yeah, I would collab with someone, but the thing is, it just has to be something that I want, something that inspires me. I don't want nobody, like I have people send me like a little drum loop or something like that and be like, do something with that, let's collab one. And to me, that's like, I get inspired by sounds. Like drums are cool and all, but that's not my main thing. My main thing are your pads, synths, keyboard sounds, you know, your leads, all that stuff. I love that stuff. That stuff inspires me. If I want to add some drums, okay. But I mean, I want somebody to send me something that's just like, it grabs me. Not saying the drums can't, but I want to hear more of what you like. Unless it's something where your drums are just so crazy to where it's like, I'd be like, yo, I wouldn't even have thought of that. Let me add this and that. That's a different story. But I've literally had somebody send me something and just go, and I'm like, collab? What about you? You want me to just build a beat around that? But, and then too, it depends on how, like I use Maschine, and I tend to want to work with people who use Maschine because it's a lot easier. if you don't use Maschine, then it's like I gotta chop down the waves, or I could do it in Logic or something, but it's just, it flows so much easier with Maschine. Or I like to do it in person. That's even better, collabing in person. But as far as just collabing, if you want to collab with me, you could just hit me up and we'll figure out something and try and work it out. Let me see. What do you like, Mac or Windows? Also, go check. Okay, that's telling me, check me out. Check out something, excuse me. I like Mac better. I had Windows until 2013. I had Windows until 2013, and once I made that switch, everything is much smoother, especially using Maschine. Like I said, the only thing I miss about Windows is FL Studio. Mac makes everything so much easier with the Maschine. I used to have issues with Maschine and Windows. Now it's plug and play, everything works. So I would say go with Mac. That's my personal opinion. Let's see what else we got in here. If a huge studio offered you a position as a lead producer and it allowed you to work with the top names in the hip hop world, but you had to go back to working a normal schedule and having a boss, would you do it? And that question's from Andrew Forbes. He's one of my top supporters. I really appreciate you, man. Just wanted to give you a shout out while I was reading that. I mean, yeah, I would take it. I would take it. I'm not gonna lie and say I wouldn't take it. You know I said I wouldn't want a boss or anything like that, but when I say I don't want a boss or nothing like, or the whole thing about having a job, I look at that stuff as I'm not doing something that I don't love. Like if I was a head producer and it's like I'm working with the top artists and stuff and they coming in and out, and I had that consistently, like I'm consistently working in the studio where people always coming in, always going out. Like if I had the access to a top studio where there's always top artists, I'll be there all the time anyway. I mean, as far as the scheduling goes, I would like to try and be flexible with it, because as you see, I'm up all night and stuff. So if I could work throughout the night hours, that's fine with me. That's my normal schedule anyway. So I would take that, because to me it's all about working. And then as far as the consistent working, like you said, the top artists, there's your money. You doing what you love. You got the top names, and it's consistent work. Like that's a big thing to me, is consistent work, because I'll talk about that in another video, but that's a huge deal to me, is consistent work. Like I would definitely drop that, and I don't look at that as a job at that point. That's just me doing what I love. I wouldn't be somebody that's turning it down because I'm be working under somebody else. I mean, I could just be an extension of your brand. Like, oh, we got DDS working at such and such studio. You know, he did X, Y, Z, this, that, and the other. Yeah, he's stationed with us. So if you come through here to do this, I have no problem with that at all. So yes, I'll do that. Let me see this next question. A good question for your followers, excuse me, I believe, is letting them know how you're able to fund your dream of producing. How did you afford to buy sound, software, hardware when you didn't have much money? How did you use what you were working with to create music that you could sell? Also, did you sell beats before your hit song? Okay, this is from, I say, Meekism Wisdom. She's dope. Y'all should check her out. She's another one of my top supporters for a long time. And if I don't shout everybody out, I'm sorry. I'm just noticing this as I'm going through and just say, hey, I'll shout them out while I'm reading it. But how do I want to answer that question? Because I've touched on some of this before, and then I also have my longer video coming out that I said is my documentary, but it's not my documentary. It's just me telling my story with my video editing skills. So that's coming real soon. But yeah, I tried to sell beats before, you know, Try Me. I think it's before my hit song. Yes, I tried to sell beats, but it wasn't nothing consistent. It was just like $20 here, $20 maybe 3-4 weeks later. And then after I got more serious into it and I invested in some sounds, that really makes a difference when you invest in your sounds. I started selling them for like $100, $200, you know, and that's like exclusive stuff at that point, because I was just selling it to one person at the time. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm making 100 and I sell it again, sell it again, sell it again. No, I'm not gonna do that. I will sell you a non-exclusive beat for 100 or something like that, easy. But exclusive, no, it has to be much higher. But how did I get the money for the sounds and funding my dream or my career as a producer? It was just, I'm going to talk about that in my other video as well, but I'll touch on it here. Is really about saving your money and investing it in yourself. Like, I don't buy clothes like that. Like, I don't buy Jordans. I only got, it's winter time right now, I got 2 pair of boots. That's all I wear every day. You either see me in the black Timbs or the wheat Timbs. Simple as that. I bought those, I think, last year. So since then I had I've only bought 1 pair of gym shoes in 2016, and then in 2015 I got a pair of shoes as a birthday gift, and I just been rotating those, to believe it or not. And that's just me. It's like, I don't care about clothes like that. That stuff gonna meant to get dirty, it's gonna wear out after a while and all that. But I'd rather have my studio equipment, so when somebody goes and buys some Jordans, I could take that money that I bought some Jordans with and put it towards some VSTs. You know, 2 pair of Jordans will get you a decent VST. Just little stuff like that. You know, I was working at Target, so it took me a minute to save. But even when I was working at the factory, you know, I would work and then I had my bills and stuff, you know, had a kid, had to have money for him and all that stuff. And then outside of that, it's like, all right, you got X amount of dollars left. Do you want to go to the movies? Which I always love to do. That's my inspiration. Not go to the movies, but do you want to buy clothes? Do you want to buy video games? That was something else I did. There was a point in time where I wasn't buying video games. I just looked at I had an Xbox and I would never use it. I only used it for Netflix, you know? So that stuff could buy you sounds. And then if you don't have the money to buy sounds at all, or you can your money is so stretched out that you just can't seem to save it and break it off into different ways, I would say just play around with what you got. There's plenty of nice effects that might cost you maybe $50. There's some free ones out there. Or just playing around with the sounds, you know, like if you have Omnisphere, I'm gonna do a video on this, you could change the whole sound of something that you have, you know. You might do that, you get inspired to do something else. Or Nexus, you can change sounds up in Nexus, you can turn stuff into ARPs and all that stuff. So I just say playing around, adding effects to what you already have, and then from there you would create something new with the sounds that you already have. So that's what I would do in those situations, because I mean, sometimes even now I get uninspired. I want to get inspired, and I'm like, you know what, let me see what I can do with this sound. So I pull up a sound, add some effects to it, and it sounds like something completely different. And it's like, yo, I just made a sound and did it that way. So that's what I would say. Who are your favorite producers of all time and why? This question, well, I'm gonna say Pharrell for one. Pharrell was an inspiration to me as like coming up. I felt like I was always different as a kid. I didn't play sports. I wasn't into the stuff that everybody else was into, except for video games and all that. And I was always to myself for the most part. I was always to myself when I did my graphic design and stuff. I used to be on MySpace, selling MySpace layouts, just doing stuff like that, being creative. I wouldn't go out playing basketball. Well, I take that back. Sometimes I played basketball with my cousins and stuff in the backyard and all that stuff, but I wasn't just out there doing other stuff. I just stayed to myself, and I said Pharrell because Pharrell kind of inspired that, like, because it seemed like he was different from everybody else, and it's like, this is the same lane that I'm going in. Who else is another type producer? I would say, I don't think too many people know the name when I say it, but Johnny J is one of them. He passed away. I don't remember when, but he was one of Tupac's producers, and he produced some hits for Tupac, and that was definitely one of my favorites. Who else I want to throw up there? I'll throw Lex Luger in there, because Lex Luger was a big inspiration to me throughout my senior year of high school when it came to making beats. Of course, you had your Dr. Dre's and all that, but I don't want to say the typical answers that people give, because that's automatically up top, Dr. Dre, you know. Yeah, off the top, I'm trying to think of some new people though. I'll say Southside from 808 Mafia. That dude makes some crazy beats, man. All them dudes make some crazy beats. So, but yeah, it's like Pharrell is probably my top, because he make different music. He's a different person, and like I said, it inspires me to be myself, be a different, you know, be different. Do you, you know, you don't have to follow what everybody else doing. Like, I don't smoke and I don't drink, so when I'm around people that do that stuff, they be like, you don't do this, you don't do that. I'm like, no, I just be, I'll take a water, I'm just me, you know. So those are my top ones. I know that wasn't a good answer because I was all over the place with it, but let me see what else I got in here. I answered that one. First question is very short. Why hip-hop production? Okay, so the first question is why hip-hop production? And the second question is, do you have a bad period in your, did you have a bad period in your production beginnings? Thank you for your response. Do I have any other questions after this? No, I think that's actually it. So I went through all the questions on here. So I'm gonna answer this question and now I'm gonna wrap it up. Okay, so for the first question, why hip hop production? Simply because that's what I listen to. You know, you make what you listen to for the most part. That's what influences you. You'll be making something and you will take something out of what you listen to, at least in my experience, and you just add it or tweak it, make it your own, but in your own music, if you get what I'm saying. And I used to listen to instrumentals way back in the day, and I just think about this now because I'm into music production. And even when I used to listen to it, I didn't think about, oh, I want to make beats. It was just I preferred to listen to the beats other than the lyrics on a lot of music. It was a lot of beats out there that I was like, yo, this beat is just crazy. I got to get this beat, so I'll go find it online and just download the instrumental, and I would put it on my iPod, be walking to the school bus, riding on the school bus, walking through school, just listening to instrumentals all day. That's what I did. So that's how I got into that. But I also want to get into other stuff like film scoring and all that. I don't want to be just the hip hop person. I do want to get into the pop stuff, but I just haven't really got my way into it. I have made a few tracks that's pop, but haven't really posted them or nothing like that. And the second question was, did I have a bad period in your production? And there's bad periods all the time. There's times where I don't get inspired, or I'm just not feeling it. Like I said, I was sick for the past couple days, and it's like, I came here to make a beat one day, and it's like with me, I could be coughing, sneezing, all that stuff. Cool, I'll still do my work. But as soon as I get a sore throat, man, everything shut down. I'm not doing nothing. I just don't be feeling it. It's like, if you breathe, if you cough, sneeze, you swallow everything, drinking water, and it's like, oh. So it's like, yeah, when that happened, I was just not in the mood. But anyway, like I'm saying, there's always gonna be those ups and down times. There's days where I can go just music. Then some days where I'm like, nah, I'm just not feeling it right now. I'll get back to it, you know. And then that's another thing, don't be so hard on yourself if you're going through a bad time or a hard time of the production stuff, because all of us get it. You just got to keep working through it, and as long as you're working, you will get through it. Just don't stop, you know. Because I mean, I don't really know, your question was kind of open, so it's like I could talk about different things as far as like, even with selling beats, nobody was buying my beats, but I still made beats. I don't know why. It was just I just never gave up because I love hearing my own music. I made beats for me. Like, I would sit and listen to my beats when I was working. I listen to my beats when I'm driving around, listening to my beats. So it's like, hey, I'm doing this for me. You ain't gotta like it. You ain't gotta buy it. I'll buy my own stuff. So yeah, so I enjoy doing this Q&A video for y'all. You know, I did another one a while ago, but I really want to do this every month. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope I answered some of your questions. If you have any more questions, you could leave them in this video, or I don't know if I'm gonna shoot another video asking you guys for questions again. I might, and I might not. I might just try and save up some questions over time and shoot a video for that. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Hopefully I answered some of your questions. Hopefully you got some good advice out of it. I just want to thank you for watching. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, and if you're not new, I appreciate your support. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you.